Welcome to 10-Minute Topics. We have a great one today, and it's how to have a successful relationship between your parent and your coach. And we have the perfect person to talk about this, JP Nervin. We've had many of his blogs and posts on our website. He's a mentor, he's a coach, he's a sports consultant, a public speaker. JP, thank you so much for joining us. Let's get right into it. So number one is, what are the responsibilities on the coach's side in having a good, positive relationship with the parent?
Well, I think first off, it is the coach putting the person first, not the player first. And so are we focused on the holistic development, the development, not just on their athleticism or their skills, but most importantly, are we developing the character of the individual? And when we're doing that, from my own personal experience, because I've had a lot of unsuccessful relationships with parents, and full transparency, it's not always been the area that I've strived at. And I think, like you said, it's an area that coaches really do struggle with from time to time. But I've learned that when I put the development of the person first, I cannot leave out the family, because the family is actually where character development, the growth starts in that individual. And I'm really only there to supplement that. So it's my responsibility as a coach, not only if I'm putting the person first, that I'm going to find ways to work with the parents to help supplement the values that they have. And I really believe that every parent really, when it comes down to it, values above the accolades, the scholarships, or the success that they have in their sport. They really want their children to be good people, people of high character. And I think when we get down to those core values, I think we can all agree on that. And so it's, how can I work with them to bring them into the discussion, to bring them into the transformational program that I'm trying to build in my program.
Now that sounds wonderful on paper, but I want to get some realistic, solutions to this. So I know in like our soccer world anyways, our coaches sometimes have 4 teams they're coaching, 5 teams, and their parents, and they may even have another job. How can you realistically do that if you're a coach?
So I would say, first off, it really starts with how you coach and the example you set. I think there's I think in every parent-coach meeting, I think it's absolutely this staple thing for every coach to say they value academics, to say they value people of character. But are they coaching that? Are they intentionally putting that as a part of their practice? And secondly, are they valuing their values, is what I like to say. Right? They say they have these values. They say they value hard work. They say they value people that are supportive of each other. Do they value their values? So in everything that they say or do, are they living those values? The second aspect, and probably a little more practical to support coaches here, is the idea of communicating those, but also empowering the parents, really trying to help them find a voice. And I think this can be really done in a short preseason team meeting. And it's really comes down to that mindset of working with the parents, hearing what they value, letting them say that. What do they want their experience to be like for their child that year? And then Nate Sanderson from Breakthrough Basketball says, what do you want if your goal for your child can't be achieved? What do you want their experience to be like? And because often those goals are so results driven, of winning the championship or making the all-star team, scoring lots of points or playing time. But really, what's important? If they can't get that, what really matters? And so helping them to kind of really sometimes reflect, because I think sometimes we get so caught up in the sporting culture, and even as parents as well as coaches, we can lose sight of that. So getting them to reflect on that, but then also having them, and I do this with players, I try to encourage coaches to do this with players as well, but I think it's great to do with parents as well. Have them set the standards and make the commitments that they are willing to do to support that throughout the season. Rather than us sit there as coaches and dictate, this is what I expect out of parents. I think we have to communicate our non-negotiables as coaches, but I think it's really important, and probably even more important, that we allow them to speak up about what they value and what they're willing to do on a daily basis to support those values.
And I think that's super key. And referring to that blog post that you wrote on this is really involving those parents, and not just in a superficial way. As you say, I just want to clarify for anyone listening, We're talking about sitting down and going through exercises with them, not just handing a sheet of paper and saying, read this over and sign it, because truth be told, I've signed 1,000 forms that I haven't read in regards to my kids' sports. Oh, player code of conduct. Yeah. You just sign it. But as you're saying, making sure they're part of the process. These are just a few of the examples. I want my daughter to grow as a person. I want her to really care about others. I want her to walk away from her season filled with memories, friendships, to grow as a team, to play as a team, to be happy with herself. And I think those are just some, but I think writing them down makes that parent probably a lot more accountable too. Before we move on to the parent side, is there anything else the coach you think we should note should be doing to help this relationship?
Yeah, I think I like criteria. I like to kind of either say, am I calling them up or am I calling them out? I think that's huge. I think as players, that's what as a coach, I would try to say, am I calling this player out? Meaning essentially, am I policing them? I'm all about accountability. Am I all about criticizing? Or am I calling them up to be better versions of themselves? Am I an advocate for them? Not just about accountability. Am I supporting them? Do I let them know that I believe in them? And am I walking the journey with them? And the reality is, just as coaches are just like parents. As parents, we really some days feel like we have no idea what we're doing. And the reality is, as coaches, we feel like that every year. Every year we feel like we got a great idea and a great plan, and we get in the season, and things are always different. And you really don't know what you're doing. You're just doing the best you can with what you know. So I really think that's a great criteria. Am I calling this parent up? Am I not all about accountability? It's about advocacy and supporting them.
That's a great one too. And one we just put on our website from you that is going nuts. I mean, people really can relate to that. I know this weekend we had a terrible, just a losing experience at a very big tournament. We didn't win one game. And I love the coach at the end sat our girls down, they're 9 and 10-year-olds, and said, look, it's about the process. You're not going to remember that you lost all these games, but it's about facing adversity. And she gave a lovely speech, and I know my daughter felt better for it. And it's that kind of talk that is calling them up to rise to it, not out. All right, on the parent side, what are some responsibilities parents need to own and parents need to do to keep this relationship healthy?
Well, I think not every coach is going to obviously do that meeting that I just described where they allow that. So I think it's really important to, first off, same approach as the coach. Put the person first. As much as we want to see them succeed on the court or on the field, are we putting their holistic development in mind? And so when we do that, we have to understand that adversity and challenges sometimes may come in the form of that coach not being a really good coach, not being a nice person, or not knowing what they're doing. And that growing through that experience is really important. So I think that's one of the best ways that we can support our kids is to help them see the opportunity for them to learn and grow through the experience. When it comes to the relationship with the coach, though, I think if we really do want to have a strong relationship there, I think it's important for us to in a sense, also call them up just by communicating what we value, what's important. And, some coaches may be all about winning, and that's a reality. But I think it's important for us to, in a preseason team meeting, a side-to-side meeting, one-on-one meeting with the coach, or even just passing by, letting them know what they appreciate about that coach, what they're grateful for, but also letting them know what they value, what they're really hoping for their child that season, and what's really important to them. And if we can do that and let them know what we're willing also to do, help to facilitate that. And that could be, hey, if you're ever having some struggles or knowing anything and you just feel like you're at your wit's end with my child, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Just offering that bridge of communication, I think could be huge, rather than always just talking about the win or the loss or what the strategy was. And I think coaches, they appreciate it when you say great win, but I think we appreciate it even more when it's something like you really are showing that you care about the kids. Stuff like that I think means so much more, because when you say great win, what's it going to be like when we lose, right? So praise our efforts, not the result. And I think that will help nurture and call up the coach to be a better version of himself about the things that really matter beyond the winning. So are we, as a coach, or as a parent, are we praising the result, or are we praising the process?
Awesome. That is it. Our timer just went up. Maybe next time we have you on, we can talk about what to do when it really is dysfunctional and not working, and how to know when it's time to go. But that's it for now. JP, I can't thank you enough. What is your blog or your website name? Please say that so people can go there and get some more information from you, because it's really, really insightful.
Yeah, it's thriveonchallenge.com, THRIVE, onchallenge.com. And my Twitter handle is @JPNERBUN.
Awesome. Thank you, JP. We'll talk to you very soon.
Thanks, Asia.